present. Give us an update where we stand.
Well, I mean, we're probably just coming down from celebrating the under 20s, who were have did a fantastic job in World Cup qualifiers, reaching the CONCACAF final. And for us, it's another step along the way, but we have to take pause to celebrate those players and the staff because it was no small task, and it's fantastic to be um, at the helm when that happened. Um, for for the staff, it's review. What did we do right, what did we do wrong, what worked, because we want to replicate that. We want to replicate that as soon as this summer with our girls who are in under 17 and under 20 um, World Cup qualifiers, and then our boys who are in the under 15 championship. So it's good times. Um, one mile still to reach, but we're gonna push on.
Right. Mr. Lightboy, you're part of that team. You're part of the organization on it that put this fabulous record together. What was it like for you, the experience to be the coach and see things through?
Yeah, it was nice. But in the end, I'm happy, but I'm disappointed that we didn't get any progress because there's an opportunity, and we sort of have, in my view, sort of have met where what we really wanted to achieve. So it was a great experience as a coach, and I'm sure as when we look back, the players, they played at a level that they weren't, totally used to playing at. So it's understandable.
When you come back and you have your talk with the director and the other coaches, what are some of the things you yourself have put down to say we need to do this better as a coaching staff, and then we'll work with the players after?
Yeah, well, like you just said, mentioned, the first thing that we talked about in our first meeting was prior to leaving, can we do certain things a lot better? That's something that we can immediately fix. Once you get on to actually being at the tournament, so many things come up. Players to get injured on site, staff that's needed to do everything. That helps. Other countries, they just have a big entourage, and things are a lot easier. Everybody's doing different jobs, and we're trying to get to that level. And like President Reed just said, we want to get back there as soon as possible in every department that we're playing at every level, and that's the most important thing is to try and get back there so we can keep growing. We can't be satisfied with just one team making it and then we don't make it again. We need to the work starts now.
Weird, Mr. Weird, I have a question for you. Um, you have in the region, CONCACAF region, there's always talk about finances, and obviously what Kyle was just saying was that obviously it's going to take finances. Where are we as far as the CONCACAF region talking to FIFA about finances that we struggle with, which the bigger nations don't have as much trouble as we would have in our region?
Okay, there are a few programs that FIFA have now. One is the FIFA Forward program, which we have an allotment of money that we can use for any game. So they're kind of taking the restrictions off of FIFA funding that we used to have. So we have to decide the best way for us to use that funding. They also have the Solidarity Fund, which is to help nations with travel. Up until now, we haven't made that list. So apparently, countries have a worse time than us trying to travel to play matches and enter tournaments and more importantly preparation. So there are those two programs, and we also have the one CONCACAF program as well, which is similar, a little less money, but similar. And it's down to us and how do we spend this money? You know, what's the best way to do it? We know what the bigger nations here. They have a ratio of sometimes 2-to-1 for player to staff.
Right.
Travel with 3 masseuses and all these kind of things that, if you look at the U.S. budget, for example, it's $50 million. We're nowhere near that. But how can we, along with the technical staff, look at what can we do, and what's more important for them? Do you need 3 masseuses, or do you need 1 and you got a massage when you need it? Possibly. Or the staff may say, no, we need 3 masseuses. So let's have it. Okay, and we'll see if we can work that out. Can we prepare better? Can we travel? So we've allocated in our budget that we've just approved for our teams to be able to travel before competition. So we have to decide where is that best located, how. Maurice will tell you the logistics are crazy, considering the amount of players we have throughout the world. How do we get those players together? Where, when, who's going? It's pretty strenuous work, to be honest. But we do have some funding that we didn't have before, and we have to sit down with the technical staff and figure out the best ways to spend it. We won't have $50 million, I can tell you that. But we have something close.
I'm glad you cleared that up.
But we have something close to it.
49.
That's read my mind. 49. Huh? But in all fairness, though, is it because, we know raising the funds is a challenge. Is it not enough time or preparation for you to get the funds, not on your behalf, but through FIFA giving out the schedule of events for, say, 2018? You usually get it sometimes 6 months, sometimes 4 months in advance. But that's still kind of late for us because you need the funding, right?
Yeah, well, FIFA's improved on all of that. In that the restrictions aren't there, so we now have a lot more flexibility in when we receive and how we spend it. So it's down to planning from us, and that is where, from the administrative side, we have to get better on the planning side. So if we're looking at 2018, I don't want to steal Maurice's thunder, but he's got to be planning now. What can we do in 2018 for boys? What can we do with our girls before they compete this year? So he's got a tough task in planning both of those at the same time.
Muzzy was uncharted waters for you guys. Tell us about your experience going down for the second round and the qualification round of the under-20s.
What live, Papa? What live? No. What live?
Close your eyes and imagine you're only football field.
That's very real.
One thing I can say, when I see you playing football, you're very vocal, you're very energetic and everything. So, like Mr. Weir just said, close your eyes and think you're playing football. But all I want to know is about your experience down there. What was that experience like for you personally?
It was a good experience. Teams were hard.
Right.
I felt we could have done a little better.
Right.
We could have put up more of a fight. We set back a little too much over it, but it helped us get through the games for both and not.
If you had a chance to speak, take us back. If you had a chance to speak to the coaching staff after the first game and you said, listen, I think we should attack a little more. Is that something that will come over time with players playing at that level a lot more often and regularly?
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. You've been introduced to senior football quite quickly. I don't know, many people will remember your goal last year in the I want to say Friendship,
Dudley.
Dudley final, Wellington Oval, came on as a sub. This is no small guy. But outside the box, you had the shot and welcome Muzzy Bertram to the to senior league football. But take us through that time and making this team. What type of commitments you personally had to make, and as a team, guys were making to ensure that we were best prepared for that competition.
And they had to stop doing all that stuff, focus on football,
Mm-hmm.
had to train a lot more, had to do a lot of things different.
Mhm.
And they had to be crisp.
Right.
because they had recently gotten the accident
Mhm.
in December.
Right.
And I wasn't sure I was going to make it up to this year for about 8 weeks. But I was in New York for 3.
Mm. Yeah, I saw you on Keene,
Yeah.
and I stopped and talked to you for a little bit, but it was like, oh boy. But determination set you back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Tell us what you wanted to do.
What is?
Well, it wasn't what I really intended to do.
What?
The girl was what I intended, but because wasn't what I expected. It
Right.
would have been in front of me for one time, wasn't.
Right.
But I had to make a drastic change.
Right. Cutting back.
You did that.
Yeah.
Obviously, we want to talk to Maurice, but Kyle, the academy coaching staff, the group of you guys, you have like bonded to a point where it's not. Everybody comes from different clubs, but when you guys get around each other, it becomes one unit.
Yeah, that's definitely because and that's down to Maurice, and even Andrew, because everyone accepts what they bring to the table, and that's one of the biggest keys right there,
Mm-hmm.
is accepting what each individual brings to the table, sitting down, talking about the strengths and the weakness of everyone.
Mhm.
Your team, your players, the coaches, everybody brings something to the table. So that's how we're getting to grow as a nation.
Mhm.
As a football nation. One of my sayings that I say to everyone: there's no right way to play football. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And there's no wrong way. What works for one team may not work for the other team. You have to look at the players that you have, the players that are available on the day. It's like when you look at the big picture, when you look at the teams in England, I support Arsenal, and I always think Arsene Wenger should just switch up the way he plays. It's so easy to play against Arsenal. We play the same way all the time. Whereas I look at someone like Sir Alex Ferguson, and when he had Manchester United, they knew when to play football. They knew when to be rough and tough. So that's coming down to the coach and being able to identify who you're going up against. If we're going to be on a bubbly, bumpy pitch, why are we trying to play out of the back? Those are just basic, simple things. But if we keep preaching that, let's play it out of the back, and we keep losing it before you get to the halfway line, man, it's pointless. You have to work with what you have.
Maurice, putting this unit together, coaching staff wise, putting this unit together, how tough has that been for you?
Not very difficult at all. In terms of, what we're trying to do with the National Academy coaching staff is have a good pool of coaches, and then we just take that staff and move them around based on availability and or strengths and weaknesses for any given tournament or competition that we have coming up. So what we're trying to do is make sure that all of our coaches are at a high level so that we don't lose anything when we have to make adjustments for certain competition.
I have seen, and I kind of have to admire the fact that you might see someone in the under 20 coaching staff joining in with, say, the girls or vice versa, that type of stuff. Is that to help the coaches grow together?
That's what we're trying to create. So being a coach is a lonely job, where there's a lot of accountability being a coach, and you have to make decisions, and those decisions aren't always going to be popular decisions. But what we don't recognize is that coaches are still developing as well. Coaches are still learning, as far as as the game's going. So even top coaches at the top level are still learning. So what we try to do is make sure that we give our coaches enough opportunities that they can still develop as well. So when you see a coach from the women's program or from the younger age group program in with the senior team mixing up, it's for that reason, so that we can grow the coaches and give them experiences that allow them to grow and give them point of references, so that when they get into the competitions, then they say, okay, I've seen something like this before, and this is what happened at that time. So maybe I try that same tactic that worked at that time, or maybe I try something else. But they have a point of reference from being in another experience like that, and maybe in that experience they didn't have the pressure of making the final decision, so they saw someone else make the final decision. And then even when we're having our coaching meetings, we discuss what a lot of the possible outcomes are, what a lot of the possible fallbacks are to the decision that we make. So we make some difficult decisions at times, and it's not without considering all of the variables, or how people are going to feel, how it's going to look publicly, and at the end of the day, we make the best decision that we can, for the entire team.
Maurice, you've been involved with the BFA for a number of years, for 5 years, I believe. You've seen it go up and down like a valley, but it's like making its way back to the top. You must be pleased with the hard work and labor that's been put forth.
Last time I was here, when you asked me that question,
That's right.
twice,
Because I didn't get the answer. I wanted to answer for a third time.
and I responded twice that I wasn't pleased with what was happening.
Right.
And I'm pleased with the direction that we're heading, but not yet satisfied. So I know that we can do more. I know that we're trending in a positive direction, and I'm happy with that. But we come from a population that's ambitious. So while we're doing well in all of our sports, most of the time we punch above our weight, but it's something about the identity of being a Bermudian where we feel that we can do as good as everyone else in the world, and in many instances better. So
We're both putting the work in.
I mean, for me, when I get to the point where I'm satisfied with the work that I've done, then it's time for me to leave. So
Right.
I'm not satisfied as of yet,
Okay.
although I'm pleased with the direction that we're heading.
Okay, so 2018 is just around the corner. Your president said, what's in store? What's on tap for the young girls?
Hold on, Ian. Hold on.
What?
He did say he got you. Because it's actually 2017, they have a lot of football to be played.
I get that.
So,
I knew.
Yeah,
I knew
let's get to
but
17.
I would have 18 because the president mentioned it, right?
Yeah.
I know 17 the season's winding up, but there's some things that's going to happen in the off season. I get that. We can roll that out regarding what's going to happen in the off season. That's going to be finished soon, and before we know it, the full season will be there. So that's why I went to 2018.
With the football cycle and how it works, there's a big team of people that are working behind the team that you actually see. So I'm blessed to be a part of the Bermuda Football Association in this iteration, where we have an executive committee that's behind the scenes doing the work. We have an administrative staff that's behind the scenes doing the work. So you would also have heard the president say this now about the budget that has just been approved. So the budget now gives me the financial resources to go in there and okay, here we can start planning for 2018 because we have the funding that's committed, in order for us to do that. And so I just want to, highlight and speak to the good work that the executive committee is doing, and then the administrative staff at the Bermuda Football Association are doing well, that enable me to do my work, and then you see the output with Kyle and Mazai on the field. But there's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes before any of that can even come. So we haven't even gotten to the 2018 planning stages yet. We have our under 15 boys that are active this summer, under 17 and 20 girls, and then we have our senior women's team that are active this year as well. So we need to get through all of that. With an eye, so my job is to have an eye on 2017, 2018, and beyond, while recognizing that we have funding now committed to be able to provide programming for our teams that will be in action in 2018.
I have a question. Any one of you three can answer. in the public view, you get the Bermuda Football Association and football in general locally comes under a lot of scrutiny when things don't go the way some people think they should go, and it seems like you guys keep taking body blows, punches to the head, punches to the body, but you don't really respond how or defend yourselves. I guess this will go to the president. Why?
Well, over the years, the ethos has always been that we take you high with it, and that we want to protect the stars of the show, so to speak.
Right.
Um,
How many more punches can you take?
but that's the question for me. And to be honest, I'm of the view that we're just not gonna sit back and take criticism, unwarranted criticism.
Mm-hmm.
It's a difficult balance because you do have to listen. You do have to listen and hear out criticism and hear out people's opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, and that opinion is based on erroneous facts or malicious gossip. My opinion is that we have to respond and respond strongly. But it's a difficult balance because we're a small community, and the person who you may be, or group of people, or organization who you may be responding strongly to, you may have to work together with that person or organization in another year or two, or next month,
Right.
in order to the sport for the sport to grow. So it's a difficult balance, but that's something that I think we are going to have to tackle over the next few years. Is yes, not necessarily defending, but responding to like what I call erroneous or even malicious information. So I think, to be honest, there are some people out there who are purposely spreading erroneous information, and then some who just don't have the information. And so we have to do both. We have to get the information out there to educate our stakeholders, and because they are, the fans, the players, the coaches, they're our stakeholders, the stakeholders in the game. So we have to get the information out there to them, and sometimes we are going to have to correct information as well.
Right. Kyle, the most recent game against the Cosmos, I talked to you about what the plan was to get different guys involved. Are you pleased with the overall performance of the guys that were introduced into the team, and hopefully work with them more on a regular basis?
Yes, we had a few new faces in the team. Like Guy, that was his first senior call-up. Liam became one. Also Robert Rollins. We had a couple other guys there that done themselves no harm whatsoever. And this is what we're working for, to have a pool of players that we can pick upon at any given moment. Getting that database of players a little bigger. We know the top players, but the players that are hungry, that we just find them. Like Robert caused them all sorts of problems.
Yeah.
And that's someone that's different from what we really hear. And he's done himself no harm whatsoever. So, that was one of the biggest things that came out of that game.
Regarding that game, I had a conversation with Earl last week about it. This goes to the president. The turnout was low. I think by the numbers, maybe 150, 170 people. And I've actually this question before. How can we improve the numbers of the spectators called international match?
Sure. The official number is 750.
There you go.
For that match, that's the official number.
All right.
There's two fields. One is how do we change the culture? Globally, in friendly matches don't attract a large crowd. So we have to try and change that culture. We have to play more. That's the first thing. I think the more we play, Bermudians like a winner. So the more we play, the more we do well, the more results we get. You'll get people coming to the matches. If you recall back to the World Cup, we were able to fill the stadium when there was something on the line. So when we played French Guiana, good crowd, and then another good crowd against Guatemala. So we know we can fill the stadium in competition if the team's doing well. How do we get more people to come to friendlies? Well, we're working on a few initiatives that can hopefully help that. We'll try and get more adverts out there, but for me, it's the football purist that's going to come to a friendly match. And that football purist is the audience that's out there every Sunday. So how many people actually go to a match on a Sunday? Is it 2,500 people covering the Premier Division? If that's what it is, and that's our target audience. Because they're the ones who are going to come to a friendly match. So if our target audience is 2,500 people, we need to find out who they are, where they are, and get the information to them. The person who is wants to go to an outing and have a good time, they're going to come to in competition match. They're going to come to Bermuda versus Guatemala. That's on the line. We got a point. They want to be there. That person, will they come to a friendly no matter what marketing money we spend on it? It's debatable. That's just something for our marketing team to really kind of dig into. We'll certainly get with the fan zone group as much as we can, because that's another part of the experience that people seem to enjoy. We try and get them to stop jumping on the field, but other than that, that's another idea. So we'll get the word out. We'll tell the story. But my opinion is that we're really chasing after 2,500 people. I mean, that's a group that go to football games every week, that Premier Division game. So I think that's the target audience. If we meet that audience, we can get those games to pay for it. So, and then of course, can we get our pros to come in to play in a friendly? That's another challenge. And that's Maurice and Clive Short.
Carl, you want to say something real quick?
Yeah, one quick thing. What we're doing at that time when we played, you should know. Your team was playing Liverpool versus Man City. That was a big problem. That has a lot to do with it as well. Those that are on football, and the game that came on after that was Barcelona playing. So that has a big problem there as well.
Check the schedules next time.
Just come out and watch. You can watch that game again another time.
That's true. I reported it. Yeah.
But the DVRs for it.
That's what happens. Any final comments, gents, before we wrap up? No silence.
Yeah, well, when are the 17 games? 2017 games?
2017 games. We don't have exact dates for the tournament as yet. And so I think that's one of the things that the Bermuda Football Association gets slammed for. We can't give you dates that we don't have.
Right.
True.
So it's not that well organized or we're last minute related. In many instances, we don't get the dates. So we know that the senior women's competition is late in May. For the under 15 boys, it's in August. The location or venue hasn't been finalized, or if it's been finalized, it hasn't been communicated to us as yet. And then for the under 17s, I believe June is what I'm hearing. So all of the technical directors in the region, we have a check with them, and we have the same conversations. Does anybody know there's been such and such as that yet?
Right.
So we're looking at June and July for possibly for the 17s and the girls. Actually, for the 17 girls, August is
It's a month. Alright. Well, gents, thank you for joining us today on Inside Sports Talk Radio, and we wish you the best for the remainder of the season and in the off season in 2018 and 2019. Here we go. We're going to take a commercial break, and we come back to have Donna Arena in the studio. We'll be back after this.
Inside Sports Talk Radio has been
I'll
presented
bring
to
you
you
guys
by
up.
Colonial
Switch.
Group
You can switch.
International.
All right.
Thank you,
Y'all gonna bring her in?
Thank you very much.
All right, guys. I'll meet her. Send her down home.
Alright, so I just leave.
You know what?
Earl made you nervous with the camera.
Next time is that, right?
Hey, take the seat. You can get it.
Don't be so shy, man. You be good.
Your heart will race.
It's been 20 years at First for Colonial. Firsts that change health insurance for good.
Colonial, where people come first.
CGIGroup.com.
We're featuring something really special this month, Bragg Live Food Products. Paul Bragg is the man behind the products, and during his lifetime originated health food stores, restaurants and spas, nutrition education through media, and generally laid the foundation for the enlightened way we make healthful choices when we shop for and prepare food. We've got Bragg raw organic apple cider vinegar, liquid aminos, a full spectrum protein supplement and seasoning, extra virgin olive oil, and nutritional yeast rich in B vitamins and minerals. Lindo's, why go anyplace else?
Calling all players. What time is it? It's game time. Fun and dependable sports betting on NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball, golf, horses, English Premier League, and more. Weekly promotions.
Again?
Be a lucky loser with our weekly draws. Become a game time player. Call into one of our 3 locations in Somerset, Town, or St. George's. For more details, visit GameTime.pm or call 296-342. Game Time. You play, we pay. Game Time is associated with Clarksville Gaming Services.
Join Power 95 for Furniture Fridays, 12:15 p.m. This 15-minute segment will provide the latest information on Ashton Furniture, Sutter Macri Sleep Center, Decorette, and L1 Furniture that will allow you to design your custom living room. Take advantage of this new opportunity.
Yeah.
And Decorette from the island's #1 furniture store. That's Furniture Friday.
No, no,
Friday,
I'm gonna start. I'm gonna start.
Power 95.
Just going to get
You
started.
buy beat savings up.
Now, back to Inside Sports Talk Radio. Inside Sports Talk Radio on Power 95 FM with host Ian Rollins and co-host Earl Baston.
Well, welcome back to Inside Sports Talk Radio. Now joining us is the president of the Bermuda National Athletic Association, Ms. Donna Reyna. Donna, 19 athletes have been selected. 20 athletes? 20 athletes have been selected. Tough day yesterday.
Tough day yesterday, tough day today.
Well, sorting through those persons who have met the standard and those who you felt have given everything and unfortunately through other circumstances did not meet the qualifying standard. Take us through that process of how you guys come out with the names.
Well, to be honest with you, we left this in the hands of our coaches. We have, as you know, we have our coaching staff, which is headed by the one being our director of athletics. So this year, the board of directors, we all sat back and we let the coaches come up with the athletes. They sent the proposal to us and we reviewed it. We had some questions, went backwards and forwards. We started 9 o'clock last night and we finished 9 o'clock this morning. The coaches, I think they started their meeting at 3:30. I received the first email from Devon, I think it was around 7:45. So it seems like they had a long time and we also had a long time trying to come up with the final team. As you see, we have some athletes that were right on the standard. We have a few athletes that were very, very close. We look at commitment of our athletes. We look at the progress throughout the season. We even look at how they carry themselves at the track. Do they go through the warm-ups? Are they preparing themselves for their event? Psychologically, are they where they should be? And there are some athletes, especially when we get to the under 20 division, is difficult because they don't have that competition. So we have to kind of look at them a little bit differently from we do the under 18s. The under 18s, we have a lot of competition, in that age group. So the under 20s, we really have to do a lot of soul searching and decide, who should be traveling with the team and who we think should not. And for me, I think we've come up with a very well-rounded team. I'm quite pleased with the team that we have selected.
Right. Well, quickly, I'll just go through the names of the persons who have been selected into the 2017 Bermuda Carifta Games team. In the under 18 girls is Talida Weir. She'll compete in the 200. Lindsey Palmer, the 3,000 meters. Sakari Famous, high jump. Inchene Smith, high jump. Zakaya Lewis, long jump. Tiara DeRosa, shot put and discus. Brianna Mendez in the 3,000 meters. Danilo Bringman is going to do the 400, 4x1 and 4x4. John Dow Cumberbatch is going to do the 3,000 and 1,500. Aaron Jacobs is doing the 800. Quincy Kuzak is doing the 3,000. Ryan Otterbridge, who ran a sensational 3,000 yesterday, is going to do the 1,500. Suresh Black is doing the 200, the 4x1 and 4x4. Lejon Matthews is doing the 400 and 4x100. Devontae Lodge is doing the 200, 4x1 and 4x4. And Michael Dill is doing the 4x1 and long jump. The under 20 boys is Kevin Miller doing high jump. Elijah Darrell's doing high jump and long jump. Stephen Dill's doing 100 meters. And Isaiah Bell Phillips is doing the 800. I think a well-balanced team. Unfortunately, we do have to wish Ashley Irby speedy recovery. Unfortunately, she had to withdraw from the team, pulling her quad in the school track and field championships. But a 20-member team is one of the biggest we've had in a while. And to be honest, it looks like a very strong team. It's just who will show up on the day.
Yes, I'm pleased. As you said, this is one of our largest teams that we've had for a couple of years, but it's also a strong team. As you know, Earl, we had 8 athletes that met the standard yesterday. The weather was perfect, especially for the middle distance events. There was no wind. It was not too hot, it was not too cold, it was really perfect running conditions. And we all made a joke before the meet and basically stated, if anyone's going to qualify, today is going to be the day. I don't think we thought we were going to come up with 8 athletes reaching the standard, but that was fantastic, and it also showed the commitment of these athletes. As you know, we started this Carifta track, I'm going to call it, in October of last year. We had 2 camps. We had a power camp. We had a middle distance camp. And, we've been kind of grilling these athletes. We also put our coaching staff in place, where we have middle distance coach, we've got sprint coach, we've got jumps coach, we've got throws coach. So, we put everything together this year, and I think that hard work is paid off. And I have no doubt that these athletes will go on to Curacao and give us 100%. We even had the males running the 4x1 yesterday. I was so impressed. I know Devon and Gregory Saunders have been working diligently with this relay team. Just seeing the handoffs, I was just very, very impressed. And we haven't even added on, one of our other athletes who is Suresh Black, who's going to be running the 4x1 and 4x4. So, I'm feeling very confident that these athletes will perform. I'm excited. As I said, the excitement is going over from yesterday, watching the athletes. I mean, they were, for the first time, I think I've seen them all season, every athlete was running through that finish line. Everyone was running through, looking at the clock, and we were jumping up and down, they were jumping up and down. So it was a lot of excitement yesterday, and to me, it proved that these athletes have committed themselves to the sport, and they want to do well, they want to travel, to Curacao. So, I mean, for me, I couldn't ask for anything else.
The fact that you had what one might consider rabbits, especially for the 3,000, but you look at the likes of Chris and Ryan, these guys pushed these youngsters who stood up to it. And I even remember one lap, Ryan started to drop off, and Chris started shouting at him, "Come on, you could do it, you got it in you. You got it," and you saw Ryan respond. Quincy's been struggling with injury, coming back, legs are not always under him. he took it like a champ yesterday, and you could tell it was hurting, but he had that girl in mind. John Dow coming back has come on in leaps and bounds. He's been a surprise to many around the track. I mean, when I first saw us, like, he's a young man, but he has taken to the track leaps and bounds, and it'll be a joy to watch him compete against others when it comes down to Carifta.
Yes, John Dow, for me, he's a phenomenal athlete. When I say commitment, he has commitment. We watched him run yesterday, and we were standing in the field, and he was kind of hanging back a bit, and we were always saying, when is he going to take off? And when it got to that last lap, he ran across Ryan, he ran across Chris.
Yeah.
It was like, you guys are holding me up, and he just flew that last lap. It was just unbelievable. So it's going to be very, very exciting to watch him up against some of these Carifta athletes, because so far I've seen him race, and he has no fear.
Right.
Ryan, as you see, we have Ryan on the team running 1500. After watching him run yesterday, we had to say he met the standard. I mean, he really met the standard.
Right.
I mean, the standard was
9:45,
and Ryan ran
9:39.
so he was well under the standard.
Right.
So it was no way that we wanted to leave him home. So we put him in the 1500. That would be a good experience for him. We don't know how it's gonna turn out, but I think he worked, and he deserved to have a spot.
Right.
On this team. We also have Isaiah Bell Phillips. I mean, we had a lot of discussion. Believe me, we've had a lot of discussion tonight. Over last night about Isaiah. But when we look at the commitment that he's given, he has competed in every single track meet.
That's right.
But the athlete, for me, that stands out the most is Stephen Wheeler.
Yeah.
I mean, I even talked to Joanne Clark when she took the team to Barbados, and Stephen went with them. And she said, Donna, this boy is so committed. She said, the athletes be sleeping, he'll get up. Mr. Bean gave me a session. I gotta get up and do my session. They made sure he got to the track. If he had weights to do, he did it the whole time he was in Barbados. And she said when he went to the track, he warmed up, and that's how he is in Bermuda. He warmed up, and in reality, we said months ago that Stephen's going to be on this team.
Right.
Whether he makes the standard or he does it in every single week, Stephen's time has dropped considerably until this last one. And last year at Carifta, he ran well. He just missed out on making the final.
Right.
But he to me is really a standout athlete. When I talk about commitment, dedication, Stephen gives it to you every single track meet. And as I said, because he's in the under 20, he really has no one to push him.
Right.
And I think once he has that in Carifta, I think we're going to see, some good things coming from him.
Right.
So good.
Yeah. I have to note that his commitment, Isaiah, those guys show up to every, and yesterday just watching Stephen all on his own, in the middle of the field, go through his motions. He weren't worrying about anybody else. And a lot of things were going on around the track. You had Zakiah qualifies, a noise over in the sand pit. You had the 3,000 meter runners qualifying. You had down at the high jump, you had Sakari. Her record is 180. She was attempting that, so it was noise down. It was noise all over the place, as well as Kappa. but to be around that. And you're a middle distance runner, so to see those four in that particular race, and Brianna, thanks to I can't remember her name, who helped her, but it's to see these athletes respond, knowing that this is my best and last opportunity, just threw it all in there.
And the other thing, Sakiah Lewis.
Yes, she's been on the fence, man.
She's been on the fence, but Elisha Darrow competed in the long jump.
Right.
And Elisha qualified
right.
in the long jump. As you know, he's already qualified in the high jump.
Right.
And Sakiah came down, she said, it's like it enthused her. And she went out there and, she, again, the standard's 5:45.
Right. She done 5:51.
Sakiah done 5:51.
Yeah.
It's not even like it was close to the standard. She went over the standard. and you could see it in her eyes, and that's how, I mean, even Brianna was getting closer to that 11:15, and you could just see it. Oh my God, you know, I've got to get to that 11:15,
Right.
and she was 11:14.
06,
you know,
which
06,
is, yeah.
you know, which was there, and that was a lot.
Yeah.
Aaron Jacobs yesterday,
Yeah.
2:01:29. The standards 2:02,
Right,
2:03,
right.
and you know, he had been running 2:03:07.
Right.
That was his best since then.
Mhm.
Yesterday, 2:01:29. I
Right.
mean, just, you know, obliterated the standard.
Right.
And that was yesterday. Yesterday was, for me, was an amazing meet. Even, you know, watching the guys in the 200, Cavante and Danilo.
Mhm.
I mean, they battled.
Right.
And I mean, even in that race, Danilo met the standard.
Right.
You know, in the 200. So yesterday for me proved that all of the work that we put in since October, it's all come to fruition just watching all of that yesterday. So now our goal is to keep that excitement going over the next 2 weeks.
Well, they get to work together with national coaches now
Mhm.
on a regular basis. So we can see people improving technique. Because as we talked yesterday, it's more about that technique than it is, because the strength and power is all there. It's just that technical side that needs to be addressed.
Question for the show. Let's step over. Someone just texted me and said regarding athletes, high school athletes, some who are participating in other sports, but do you go to the high schools and look for other athletes, or look for the school sports and look at other athletes who may have potential that have not been competing in track and field all season, but maybe they need to stand this and forth?
That's how we found Jundal.
Okay.
Jundal's been running on the road, and you know, somebody, I know which coach was it that saw him and pulled him, as I think it was Wayne Bean, pulled him aside and said, "Hey, you need to come to track." So our coaches, as you know, we have our coaches team. They have been out scouting. Devon has approached athletes and it's like, "Hey, you can sprint." Rohan's out there. That's why we got so many high jumpers. Rohan is out there. You know, he went to, I think it was at Cedar Bridge or one of the school sports, and he saw this person jump, and it was like, man, you have potential. So yes, our coaches are out there scouting. And inter-school sports, we were all up there, and you know, we're looking at athletes and it's like, oh my God, you're saying one, Lejeune, he was playing football. I think Mike Watson saw him and said, man, we got potential on the track. So yes, our coaches are out there scouting, you know, these athletes on a pretty regular basis now.
I think also what helps is the parents would inform the coaches or inform the organization that, hey, my son or daughter has potential, can you come see?
And we have that.
Would help.
Yeah,
Okay.
we have that. We've had a couple of a couple of parents send us emails to say, you know, my child looks like they have potential in high jump. You know, who can I contact? And we would go to, you know, call Rohan and say, Rohan, we have this coach. But at that point, you know, we are talking about national athletes. So we're not talking about, you know, athletes that are 10, 9, 8. You know, so when they send us something like that, we'll say, okay, well, you know, you probably need to go to Pacers, you need to go to Flyers, one of the clubs. But if someone's older and, you know, the parent contacts us, then we send them to whichever national coach, you know, they should go to. So, I mean, we, like I said, we have, when I look at the team, we have quite a few athletes on here that some of them have been discovered by our national coaches.
And that involves the public and private schools.
Public and private schools, Quincy, I mean, I could name off some of the private schools, I could name off some of the public schools that's on this list this year.
So you brought the claim with a big smile on your face now, knowing that you had, but it's a bit stressful because at the beginning you was looking at possibly 12, 13, to talk about 20 going now. It's, I mean, but it's good stress, isn't it?
I wouldn't say today is good stress. Today we're trying to get our final entries have to be in by midnight.
Right.
So right now we're running around, we're trying to get passport information, we're trying to get photos, and I mean, the unfortunate thing for me is that we met with the parents 2 to 3 weeks ago. And I said to them at that point, whether your child has qualified or not, send all your information so that today I could just sit there, enter it all in. But of course, that's not how it happens.
In Bermuda.
So today we've been on the phone. Poor Sabrina, I've got her back at the office. I said, I'm going to run up into this interview. I'll be right back. And we're just trying to get all this information because, as I said, the final entries close 12 midnight. And I have to have all of this entered by
I would
midnight.
hate for an athlete to lose out because an adult has not done what they
We may have one situation I'm hoping we can get it sorted where we find someone's passport has expired.
Have mercy. And you're leaving for next week Wednesday.
We leave 2 weeks. We leave the
2 weeks,
13th
right,
of April.
Yeah. Yeah.
The 13th,
13th of April.
Thursday. Not the Wednesday.
Yeah, the Thursday.
I'm gonna pay him. You could always write in.
So you're writing in now, asking for an exemption now, on their passport. Yeah, I did
But-
it to myself.
But let me ask you this question.
My passport expired. That's when it's going to be for the job.
Right.
Back in my bag, putting everything in. Yeah. Got this, got that. Getting the passport. I ain't getting nowhere. Because the flight was the next day.
Right. But let me ask you this question, brother. We know about travel, that there's limitations as far as expired passport. Does Carifta go by passport as well, or do you have to show something on an expired passport? Can that person be registered for Carifta?
No.
Okay, it has to be a valid.
It has to be a valid passport.
Okay.
And I mean, we have to send passports, when we send the entries, we have to send a passport for 2 reasons. Number one, make sure that the spelling of the name is correct. Also to make sure they're in the correct age group. So we have to send them a copy of the passport for them to verify that the age group that they're in is the correct age group. So you can't, it can't be an expired passport. Well, number one, they won't be able to get to Curacao.
Right. Yeah, but I'm mainly talking about, because the deadline is tonight. Will that be? Is that obviously now knowing it's a problem?
I will probably be able to enter the athlete, because they ask for the passport number, they ask for birthday. That's really what they're looking at right now.
Okay.
But once we get to Carifta, we have to hand them physically the passport for them to review it and verify it and make sure it's okay. So there's a possibility that I will probably be able to enter the athlete, but I guess my concern is we have 2 weeks, can they get a passport in 2 weeks?
So when you leave here, you're going to see.
No, when I leave here, I'm going to the BNAA office to try to get all this other stuff organized.
It's a few phone calls that have to be made.
Yeah, and hopefully the parents are making those phone calls as we speak.
Yes. Wow. Yeah. I think it's a very well-rounded team. I'm pretty sure that we have medalists, finalists, and good personal experiences out of this team, and I believe some may even venture to say get college scholarships out of it. That's the goal.
And as you said, as you know, Earl, that is one of our goals. That's how Keisha Miller, she got her scholarship through Carifta. I mean, at Carifta, and I mean, Keisha wasn't even a medalist.
Right.
But our coach saw her commitment and, saw everything and approached her, and of course her grades were where they needed to be, and they approached her and offered her a scholarship. Tiara, the scholarship that she has is, from coaches looking at her at Carifta.
Right.
So she's now at Shaw University, and as you know, doing fantastic. From 1 week, last week she threw 38, this week she's throwing 42.
Yeah.
I mean, just totally increasing, her distance. So yeah, that is definitely our goal, because as you know, several coaches come to Carifta. Now, from across the U.S., Canada now too, we just have an abundance of coaches that attend Carifta games. So, that is the place. If you are looking for a scholarship in athletics, Carifta is the place that you want to be. And several of these athletes, we're looking at them as, moving on next year, to university.
Good luck.
Yeah, good luck. We have to wrap up now, but before we wrap up, I must say that I guess going forward from this experience with this passport, you will be preaching to your potential athletes for next year in January. Oh, you have been.
We started that in October.
It's not the only sport.
No, I get that. I'm just talking about the passport.
Yeah, I'm saying it's not the only sport.
We started that in October. We tell everyone to start
I would
checking your passport.
hate to be that athlete that qualified for Carifta.
Okay.
My parents didn't tell me about my passport. No, don't get me wrong. I'm old enough to look at my passport as well.
But I mean, it happens.
Yeah,
like you said, it happened to you.
Yeah.
The
I
day
kicked
before,
myself.
right? The day before you looked at it. So I mean, it's not an unusual occurrence. But like you said, you know, it would be a sad occurrence if we're unable to take, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4 athletes because of that.
You did. Oh,
Right.
you're saying 1, 2, 3, 4 as an example.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
you said one athlete, now you're going
No,
for
I
4.
said
Okay.
tough.
Alright. Just checking.
Not pinpointing anybody,
No,
but
Got
it
you.
can happen.
Got you, Dr. Rain.
Yeah, it happens.
I got you. Well, thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
And we wish you all the best for 2017.
Thank you.
First out to the beach.
Mhm. 13th. Okay, cool.
Okay, from Thursday and then event is on Friday.
The event starts Saturday.
Saturday, okay.
Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
Outside of the
Yeah.
Friday, Saturday.
If they have Easter
Yeah, Easter
Monday.
Monday.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Okay. Wish you all the best.
Thank you.
And we'll be back after this. We're going to have a quick conversation with April Gowda and women in sports. We'll be back after this.
Inside Sports Talk Radio.
I'm going to call April. I haven't checked my emails. She just sent it back out. My number is 294-6126.
You don't need a line now, or?
Yeah, I need it online now. So when I come back, I'll speak to you.
All
right, Doc.
I think on a certain day, if you go to the United States, you need a visa now, right?
I have mine.
No, you need a visa. I meant
Yes,
you.
you do.
Yeah,
If
I'm
you
a
go
certain
outside of the U.S.
Yeah.
with the GBR.
Right.
Oh,
I
that's
have
true.
a
Yeah,
new
yeah, yeah.
passport.
Right,
That's
yeah.
what
Right.
Right.
Yeah,
And that's the other thing with this person.
Oh,
If
geez.
they're gonna get a new
that's what I'm
passport,
saying.
they're gonna have to
You
get
get
a
a visa, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that only took me,
Is it April?
that
Actually,
only took me 3
Yes.
days
Right.
to get
Okay.
it, but still.
that's April. Tell her, hold on. We're going to be coming to you right after
Bye.
commercial.
Okay.
Bye.
See you later.
Right. Hold on, just gonna put you on hold, okay?
Okay, I'll be able to hear her, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Can she hear me now?
And 10%
Well, no,
No.
she's on hold. She's on hold. Yeah, they need a visa, man. So it's one thing getting that passport, now they gotta apply
Right.
for the visa. That might take longer than the actual passport. Because that was in the news the other day.
Yeah, it was. It was. I
Yeah.
forgot about the GB part.
Yeah.
Like, oh, so
No.
that's tight. Yeah, man, I'm packing my bags on a Friday night. I'm supposed to go Saturday to the company.
Hello.
So we go out on Saturday, packing my bags, staying cool, passport. Yeah. What do you think?
Well, for coming up, something like
I got a meeting with some parts.
one more, come on.
Back to Inside Sports Talk Radio. Inside Sports Talk Radio on Power 95 FM with host Ian Rose and co-host Earl Beasley.
And welcome back to Inside Sports Talk Radio. As we said, moments ago with April Gowda on the phone. She's going to give us an update on women's sports for 2017. Just real quickly, before we get to April, just again, congratulate the athletes who qualified for the Crystal Games 2017. And for the athletes who passport expired, hopefully they can have it rectified before they can get able to on this trip.
Yeah.
That's possible.
Hmm.
Good afternoon, April. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
All is good. You're very vocal in women in sports. As you know, you're on the island's elite cyclists and women in sports, and you did a fantastic job. You competed last year for the annual Simple Track and Motorcycle race, and we got some things that you want to share with us right now for 2017.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mm.
it was a spin-off from last year where you had the group of the new group of the ladies. Yeah, the novice. And I've seen towards the end of the year, you see them, the speed increase, the fact that some of them had actually moved out of that category into the women's A. So you're kind of encouraging more people to start that novice again, increase those numbers as the other numbers, obviously the A, will increase. Right. 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 I see you've introduced, well, you've got into the field two determined ladies that were road runners champions. They bring that added spice to now road cycling, because I know both of them love to win. So it should be very interesting on the cycles now, as well as watching them battle each other back and forth. Right. 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 All right.
All right.
So move over men.
There you go. With the two females coming over, or two riders coming from running to riding, will one of them be defending their title in running May 24th or taking on cycling on May 24th?
Well, Rosanna already said she's doing the cycling.
Yeah.
We haven't gotten to Ashley yet.
That's right.
Yeah.
Cycle.
No. Since Tyler Butterfield done that, those days are over. They've actually, it's a 10-minute interval at the start of the cycle race to the running race. So, yeah. Well, you need to get from St. George to town in 10 minutes before, it's impossible to do it now. So,
Be a challenge.
We'll see.
Is there anything else you'd like to add, April? That's good. And since we've got you in here now, which I'm coaching Spot Next Meeting, we're going to have you on the show soon, so make your schedule available. Not a problem. Thank you.
See you on the road.
All right. Yeah. You too. Enjoy the rest of your day. When we come back, we will have Marie Beach, who just joined us in the studio. Apologize for all this. She really had a fitness segment. We'll be back after this.
Excuse me, guys. I am hot in here.
Oh, the light.
Oh my God!
Good,
It's never that warm in here.
Oh, we didn't have the light last week. This morning.
No. Today I wanted to talk about dollars and cents.
Ooh, I'm a poor man as it is. That sounds like me. Dollars and cents.
So when you're thinking of investing in My Best Me, I'll give you some dollars and cents.
All right. That's me, huh? Each one costs $305 for you to pay. Only $10 to pay. You work it? Yeah, you work it.
So in number 2, no extra food products. You know, where you're on a diet, especially.
If you're looking for extra savings on food benefits, insurance, and home insurance?
Colonial is just the color you need.
There's a free $250 gift voucher for new home insurance customers too, and 10% car insurance discount if you have home insurance.
With a claim service that's quick and friendly.
We call it cover without added costs.
Call for a quote on 296-3700 or visit cgigroup.com.
Colonial, where people come first.
Woodstock Foods have been championing the cause of healthy, flavorful eating for more than 25 years. All along, their belief has remained the same. Keep it simple and eat because it's good. Woodstock began by manufacturing a natural organic nut butter, elegantly simple and delicious. Now there are more than 250 products strong in over 10 categories, and most of their products are
Alrighty.
certified organic. This week we're featuring Woodstock frozen organic mangoes, raspberries, mixed berries, and wild blueberries. Good news. Why go anyplace else?
Now, back to Inside Sports Talk Radio. Inside Sports Talk Radio on Power 95 FM with host Ian Rollins and co-host Earl Beaston. This segment of Inside Sports Talk Radio, Health and Wellness, is presented by Energize Wellness Solutions.
And welcome back to Inside Sports Talk Radio. Good afternoon, Maria. How are you?
Good afternoon, Ian. I'm fine.
It's that time.
Yes, it is.
It's health and wellness.
Awesome.
You had a good weekend?
I did, thank you.
Do anything extra?
Yes, my husband has been making homemade ginger snaps, and I've been enjoying those as a snack.
I thought she was going to say like pineapple upside down cake, green pie.
I don't like cake that much, and I don't like green pie at all.
You didn't know me then. You never green either.
I've never liked green pie.
How about cassava?
Don't like that either. I'm a person with food texture issues.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Now you're letting the secrets out. Now
Yes,
you see why.
I don't mind.
No chips.
I eat them from time to time, but I think I've had one bag in 2017 thus far.
As you were saying, one big. Eddie, you've got a topic today that's pretty interesting. It's really eye-shattering. Dollars and cents. And you picked out 4 major points here. Explain to us what dollars and cents is regarding the health and fitness segment of Energize Wellness Solutions.
Well, I just wanted to highlight the fact that when we make choices about how we, their mind isn't open to it yet. Then the second stage is contemplative. That person is receiving information about health and wellness, since that's our topic, and now they may be weighing the pros and cons. Maybe that does apply to me. Oh, my doctor said my blood pressure's too high. Okay, so maybe I could get with someone to help me to make some changes. Or I think I'm going to start walking. So that person's looking at the pros and cons and doing what we call making decisional balance choices. Weighing, is it less work or less money if I make the change versus if I don't. Then you've got the preparation stage, and that person has started to do something, whether it's walking, starting to make half their plate vegetables, eat some fruit, drinking more water, trying to get more sleep, managing stress or whatever. But it's inconsistent.
Yep.
So they're doing the best they can, but it's just not quite catching yet. And then we have the fourth stage, which is action. So that person has been practicing their healthy lifestyle habits for about 3 months. They're doing it, and that's that. And then the fifth stage is maintenance. That person's been regular, consistently doing whatever they needed to do for 6 months or more. However, we're all fragile in whatever stage we're in. So pre-contemplative and contemplative, they're already kind of lowish. But from preparation through action to maintenance, if a life issue happens, we call those barriers. It could be a marital issue, you had a baby, could be something very positive. You're planning a wedding, could be a death in the family, etc. That can set you back. And if you miss maybe a week or two of practicing your healthy habits, we kind of call that a lapse. But when it goes a bit longer, we call that a relapse. So, that's not to say that you're a failure and it's all gone down the drain. All it means is, if you have a health coach
you would be able to learn how to, first of all, identify possible barriers and ongoing issues and share that with your health coach, but also learn strategies on how to overcome it, and your health coach can talk you through it.
True, that is true.
That's one
That's
of
the
the
key.
special
One of the
things,
keys,
yes, that a health coach can do. So, having said all of that, we said in our 6-month program, you will have health coaching, you will have your psychological counseling, you will have nutrition counseling, and you'll also have your small group training. And at Energize, we thought we'd give you a few presents. You can have 2 lunchtime walks a week, Monday, Wednesday, 12:15 to 1, and 2 Monday, Wednesday evening classes from 5:30 to 6:15. We call them urban walks. We're in town, we walk around town, and you can get your exercise with a group and in a safe setting. But when I wanted to emphasize dollars and cents today, with our $305 a month charge for My Best Me, let's simplify it. That averages what? Approximately how many dollars a day? $10 a day.
Wow.
So what I ask people is, aren't you worth $10 a day? Because sandwiches cost
$7, $8 a day.
sometimes more.
Right. So yes, you're worth it. Yeah, absolutely. That's a good point, because people average probably 10 to 12, between $7 and $12 a day on lunch.
Yeah.
So if you put that into your health,
Mm-hmm.
you're working every penny and more.
Every penny.
Wow.
So let's take it a little further. In our My Best Me program, because we're using a non-diet approach, you don't have to buy any special food products or supplements and shakes and meal replacement shakes and all of that, because you're going to be eating regular food, if I can put it that way. And mostly, we'll give you guidance and education on how to improve whatever needs improving. If you're not eating enough vegetables, well, that's not good for anybody, is it?
No.
So we'll educate you about that. And again, because we have the non-diet approach. But then, back to dollars and cents. For individuals, it's cheaper to pay up front with a program like ours than to pay on the back end for higher doctor bills and higher prescription bills. So at $10 a day, approximately, improving your health and wellness, you can help to make a financial change in your life as well.
It's true. And then once you make that financial change, the results will show.
Yes.
And you'll understand you can budget for your health and wellness and the overall health for you that you're looking forward to. And people, that's a good point what you brought up there, because there are people that want to make the change, but the challenge that they have is that financially they can't afford it. Right now they're not in a position to do it. They want to do it next month or 3 months later. And when that time comes, they say, oh, I thought about it because I dealt with this matter. By breaking this down now, it gives them, he or she, the opportunity to say, I want to set aside this date, this month will mark, so I can start this program. Was this for 6 months? It's a worthy program.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
So also for the individual, you're paying up front for My Best Me, that's $305. You can help to keep more money in your pocket in a general sense, as opposed to having higher deductions taken from your salary every month, which that extra money can help go towards your family and your quality of life. So that's for the individual.
Right.
Then I said, okay, well, what about businesses and government? It's cheaper to subsidize your employees' health and wellness programs, and not just gym fees, because our program is holistic health.
Right.
So the physical activity part is important, but we've got the other aspects of health that we tackle as well. So employees and government, rather than just subsidize a gym fee, look at health and wellness. So that's my first piece. The other issue is, when you do subsidize your employees' health and wellness programs, you can help to keep your health care costs down as well. And you will also be helping to decrease employee absenteeism and increase your productivity, your employees' loyalty, and what else did I put here? Oh, and increase your profit margin, because the healthcare costs are down. So for a lot of companies, and I'm not sure what government is paying in healthcare costs for I'm a government employee, so, but, per person, but profit margins are whittled into by up to about 25%,
Mhm.
with companies paying for employee health care costs.
Wow.
For some companies, it's up to 25%, and maybe
Right.
higher depending on employee health in general.
A question.
Yeah.
You have a 2 to 6 month program. This.
It's, yeah, 6 months altogether.
Right. What's the plan for after that? Do you restart again, or?
That's a good question.
Mhm.
Yes, we will encourage people to continue. 6 months, you're just probably in a good place to where you have personal responsibility for your health, you're enjoying it, you're happier, but it would not do any harm for you to continue. So we're definitely going to encourage people to continue for as long as they can.
Okay.
Does that average person continue after the 6 months? I know you said as long as they can, but you want them to really do another 6 months because obviously they'll be better off doing 6 months, an additional 6 months than additional 2 months.
Absolutely.
So chances are that they would do it percentage-wise. Is it 50, 60, 70% that they would do that?
I think it's just going to depend on people's finances
Mhm.
mostly. I think the people that we have at Energize now are enjoying it. We do ask them if they think that it's worth it, because this is new for us as well.
Right.
And every client that I have for health coaching and My Best Me now, we have some clients for My Best Me, all so different. It's not one size fits all. I can use some of the same material, but our discussion was very different.
Mhm.
And if you've been to Energize, we have our word wall up in the fitness studio, and as a part of the session that you have with me, I take you in. If the fitness studio is empty, I take you in, and we choose several of the words in there and see how they resound to you. So one of them is self-advocacy. You remember April talking about
Mhm.
that,
Yep,
right?
yep.
Just as a gentle reminder, self-advocacy is, okay, I know what my goal is, and I have confidence that I can reach that goal.
Mhm.
So when you look at the pre-contemplative and contemplative stages of change, self-advocacy is very low, typically in those
Right.
two stages.
Right.
And as you progress towards maintenance, self-advocacy levels tend to increase because people are doing. Once you do the action,
Yeah.
you learn that you can do it, and you know you can do it.
Mhm.
You have
True.
confidence.
It's true.
How much time of a day are we talking about? Because you say it's $10 a day, 2 to 6 months. But how much time of each day are you looking to work with individuals?
Well, remember, they're not going to have hands-on every day
Right.
from us, but goodness, between 30 and 45 minutes, you can do what you need to do.
Okay.
When I train and do my fitness program, I aim for 30 minutes. 35 or 40 minutes feels like forever for me.
Right.
But that's, just,
That's good.
it's not that you're necessarily going to be fitter based
Mhm.
on time.
Right.
It's what you do in that time. So let's say when I train myself, I'll do a circuit. I'll do my thighs first,
Right.
4 exercises maybe for my thighs, 2 or 3 exercises for my back, 2 or 3 for my chest. And I'm not a person who does a lot of shoulders and arms,
Mhm.
but if I want to, I squeeze 1 or 2 exercises in for those muscles. And I'm very conscious of my core,
Right.
so my core is engaged in every repetition of every exercise. So sometimes I don't even do abdominals by themselves.
Right.
You just have to train smarter.
Right.
Yeah.
Is there a method in training? Because you spelled out, you do your thighs, is there an order in which one should work out different parts of the body?
Typically, if you're doing a full body workout and it's every other day,
Mm-hmm.
most people do go from their largest muscles to their smallest,
Yep.
thighs down to, if they do their arms and shoulders, down to biceps or triceps.
Okay.
And then abdominal. Some people put calves on the end. And I have been using that formula since I first started.
Right.
Well,
If you do a split, some people still do splits, bodybuilders and fitness athletes. So they may do Monday, Thursday, Tuesday, Friday, Wednesday maybe cardio or a rest day, Saturdays some kind of cardio, Sunday typically a rest day or very easy something or the other. So when you do a split, you still kind of go from the largest muscles to the smallest.
Right.
But also when I used to compete, it would depend. If, let's say, my biceps were way behind,
Right.
then I would work them first. So then I may do them on a biceps, triceps, shoulder day,
Right.
or a push day,
Right.
chest. So the biceps can get all
Right,
the juice
right,
they
right,
want.
right.
So there are so many different ways to do it.
I mean, because you see people go to a gym, and everybody spends a minute or two in a gym, but you see people just walk in and they just go to a particular machine, and you say, "Wow, I wonder who taught them how to start there." You know what I mean? Because there's got to be a method in which you break it down, and it's like anything else. You
Yeah.
have to have a strategy of what you want your goal to be, how we're going to get there safely, and execution.
Yeah.
So I often I'm glad I did ask that, because you see so many different people doing so many different things, and I notice for this you talk about going for walks at lunch times and stuff. When you get back, do you then do another portion of a workout, or the walk is that particular work? Because I remember you saying you guys stop and do different things along the way, but is there more when you get back?
There's no need for more.
Oh, okay.
We went today and we squatted. We did 4 or 5 different types of lunges. We did walking planks on a wall.
Oh.
Couple of walls, 3 walls to be exact.
Okay.
And we do dip. Well, no, we don't do dips. We did close grip push-ups. If we find a very sturdy railing, we do chin-ups, pull-ups. What I call them, they're environmental opportunities.
Take advantage of it.
If we see steps, we do something on the steps. Right in front of HSBC, that statue.
Yeah.
That statue has watched us do lunges with our back foot up on the platform that the statue's on, and the front foot's on the sidewalk. That statue watches us while we do it. And we've done push-ups there. We do a lot. Step-ups.
Well, they're talking about more cruise ships in town, so I don't want to see you guys dangling from those ropes to the cruise ship, see? Because I know they get adventurous. I know, yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's out of bounds.
We'll use wisdom. We will definitely. But it's fun, and but when we do get back to Energize, we start and finish at Energize. We stretch.
Oh, okay, okay.
And one thing about stretching, it's safer not to do what we call static stretching at the beginning.
Right.
You know, where you hold a position.
Yeah.
A lot of the research has discouraged that now.
Okay.
A lot of the studies have found that, especially for athletes, that can decrease your performance level.
Okay.
To do static stretching. So to do dynamic stretching is better.
What's the difference?
Well, dynamic stretching is sort of you doing a version of what you're about to do in your workout. For example, to warm up your spine, you may stand and just kind of turn, rotate at the upper body, turn the leg with you. That warms up the spine. You can do overhead presses. You can do squat touchdowns with your thighs open very wide.
Yeah.
Get your hips down and touch the floor with your fingertips, and then stretch up.
Right.
That gets all of the pelvic girdle ready if you're going to be squatting, even running, even walking.
Okay.
So that's a dynamic stretch. The static stretching is where you see people bending over, let's say, to stretch their hamstring and holding it.
Right. Right.
That's being
phased out.
Yeah.
You
don't even see that, like in no sport. You don't see it in any sports now. Everyone's doing some version. There are a couple of other types of stretches, but those are the two main two. The static stretches are for the end.
Right, okay.
When you've had the workout, whether you're running, walking, playing football, lifting weights, treadmill, whatever, you do your static stretching at the end, because now you want the muscle fibers to go back to a position of rest. And to help pull out some of the lactic acid and let that get into the bloodstream so you can feel normal. And then, of course, you have to eat a meal to kind of replace your electrolytes and your macronutrients and all that.
Any thought about doing a presentation to this new organization for sport? Only because you guys can offer ideas to the national sports governing bodies, to that, because all these have coaches, have trainers, but time that you guys can actually assist them in. They have ideas. Are they good? Are they bad? Not every athlete's the same. not every sport's the same. So some sport might need a little tweaking here and there. Any thoughts of possibly reaching out, or David? I know Peter Dunn listening, so it's an opportunity for them to reach out to you guys to offer that type of advice to the sporting bodies as to how to better prepare their athletes for competition.
You totally are reading April's in my mind. I just wrote a proposal last night.
No, I wasn't looking in her window.
Literally just wrote it. I was telling April about it. I want to tweak it a bit more, so I haven't sent it to her. But we're going to call it Sporty Wellness.
Sporty Wellness.
Sporty Wellness.
Okay.
So it's every sport.
Right.
And we were thinking of having at least sports psychology and sports nutrition and offer that as a package.
Wow.
Sports psychology.
Sports nutrition.
Who's doing that part?
We have a psychologist.
Now that person will be overworked.
Yeah.
That's the plan.
Because that, I mean, in Bermuda, that's where we're lacking, and we all know it.
Yeah.
But it's mainly driven through cost and availability. If you look at how we operate socially, that person will be very busy on that side, but we also need to identify our athletes who have those same social issues that need, because sport can help alleviate a lot of that if it's identified. But you need a professional to identify it and then address it. A lot of people are trying to address things without being a professional or not knowing the full details on how an athlete, or what that athlete needs as far as help. Because we can all talk. We can all offer advice. But sometimes we talk too much because we're not professionals. Sometimes it's let that athlete talk or let that person talk. So,
totally correct. And the sports psychologist has a very special place, like you were saying. We all have baggage. The baggage sometimes weighs us down. When we pick it back up, it's so hard to overcome some of what's happened to us. And then you've got the part of the athlete's life where they have to be mentally strong in their sport so that when they do hit the wall during their event or whatever, they can overcome that barrier. We're back to overcoming, aren't we? So it's sort of at least a two-pronged type of approach that the sports psychologist has to take, the personal and then the sports.
Right. Okay.
Well, that's a lot of information you shared with us today. From dollars and cents to sports psychology. And we're working on that next. On this part, I think we should give it to
Well, I should have been able to get down to the brass knuckles of it and all the details. But for sure, we're trying to look at what the community needs. And there are hundreds of athletes on the island, and early intervention for the young people as well, and the more seasoned athletes. That's important. We want our national teams to do well, and sometimes we just can't if we've got all those issues weighing us down. And plus, the sporty wellness will be affordable.
Yes.
That's a part of Energized Wellness philosophy.
Dollars and cents.
It sure does. Can I say one more thing?
By all means, my best me.
Okay, thanks. My best me is we put it in place because when we do approach government entities and the private sector entities, they already know that per capita, per person in Bermuda, we are spending more than $11,000 on health care. And that was back in 2013. So we know it's well over that now. It's probably over 12,000 or closer to 13,000 by now, with healthcare costs still increasing.
Wow.
Per person. So when you hear per capita, something per capita, it's per person. And this information that I got in 2013, the financial year ending, the total healthcare financing and expenditure for 2013 was $705 million for Bermuda.
Say again?
705 million, and we have almost the highest expenditure on healthcare in the world, our little country.
Yes, incredible.
That's because we have a high prevalence of diabetes, heart disease, and a lot of it is secondary to changeable issues like overweight and obesity and lifestyle issues.
Oh, we have a major change.
And that's why Energized Wellness, we said we found a niche, and our My Best Me program can help in all the areas we've discussed today.
Wow. You heard it all. And all people
And we are available for lunch and learns, health fairs, any private entities out there. And some of what we will provide at your event, your lunch and learn or your health fair, we can do body composition, body composition testing, massages, and depending on where and what, we may be able to provide a 10 to 15 minute physical class sampler. So you may be able to get our Zumba instructor there or one of our instructors to do a quick blurb, and people can discover, gee, I can do this. Sometimes it's you getting a chance to try something, and you go, oh, she only did 10 or 15 minutes, but I could do it. And there's that self-efficacy piece again, isn't it?
Correct.
Learning what you can do and having confidence you can do it again and again and again.
Well, thank you very much for joining us today. It was worth the while. It's worth the while every Monday. You and Ace are doing a fantastic job at Angelic Wellness Solutions. And come up with the concept of dollars and cents. And me, my best me. Speak about it. Keep up the good work. And we look forward to having you back next week, Monday. It'll be April then, the month of April. Not April, but just the month of April.
Yes, I know what you meant. Yes.
You want to make sure you're drinking your red wine. Right, April? We'll be back after this.
So April and I have talked. I'll be here the first Monday of every month from now on.
Okay. She'll be at the...
She'll do the other three.
Today
Today has been a mad day. I've done voiceovers. I've done committee meetings.
Your day starts at 4 o'clock in the morning, though, right?
It does. I was at my office doing POs and...
4 o'clock in the morning?
So you know I'm tired when I get here. That's why I can't do it every week. But I wanted to, do my part. And so I've got more handouts I'll bring next week.
Sure.
But really wanted to talk about dollars and cents today.
So where'd you go to university?
I went to Ithaca College.
That's New York.
Way
Upstate. Yeah, it's a good school.
Bachelor's and master's.
I remember hearing it.
Nice, small, private, Jewish college.
Jewish.
Predominantly. They may not call it that, but it's predominantly Jewish.
Is that like further than Syracuse?
It's just south of Syracuse, 1 hour south. Freezing.
Oh yeah. Let's do it.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, I love to ski. It's too cold for me though. Okay, thanks.
Thank you,
Bob.
my friend. Enjoy the rest of your day.
You too, thank you.
New to many of us, quinoa is a food grain from a long distance used by pre-Columbian Andean civilizations 3,000 to 4,000 years ago. Quinoa is high in protein, B vitamins, and is very low in gluten, putting quinoa on the radar for those of us with gluten intolerance. The flavor is pleasantly nutty, and it can be prepared like rice or sprouted to even further enhance the quinoa experience. Ancient Harvest are the leading exponents of organic quinoa, and we're featuring their Acre Red, Harmony Blend, and Original Quinoa. Lindo's, why go anyplace else?
Now, back to Inside Sports Talk Radio. Inside Sports Talk Radio on Power 95 FM with host Ian Rollins and co-host Earl Beaston.
Wow, good time. It's 3:20. We're over by 20 minutes. It's alright. It was worth its while. Good line with yesterday. Content was great, and we thoroughly enjoyed working with you. As always,
Oh, okay. It was a chance to get it back, Brother Don. It was a chance.
Corrected myself very quickly, sir.
Yes, Ian did.
What's on tap tonight on your sportscast, sir?
Oh, we got a host of things. Kappa, Lamont Marshall, Lisa Blackburn, Flora Duffy. It was a Vincent Hall horse show. Basketball star. The road race yesterday. Saturday netball. Tennis. There's quite a bit.
It's quite a bit.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting. We all know that the America's Cup is just upon us. And that's in the 26th of May.
Yes.
But there's an event that's always big in the around that time of year. So pretty much kickstarts our summer.
Yes.
That's the annual activity that happens.
That's right.
So So people bear in mind that there is still will be out there.
That's right.
It's coming on the east this year.
Right.
Coming on the east, that's,
The sun will be at the back,
that's on the back.
but the heels will be in their face.
Yeah, yeah. That's a challenge. That's
Oh,
definitely
yeah.
a challenge.
Oh, yeah.
I told them it happened 2 years ago coming out of the east. The fans on the east end
Oh,
out good. They were open and supportive.
Mm-hmm.
Reflecting on what it was like last year on the west, by far the east was the best.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a support.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if we did it again this year.
Oh, I think they will. I think it.
definitely will.
The fact that it's a chance to support from the end of your island.
Right.
I think the people in the East End were overwhelmed with joy to have it back,
Right.
and
After so
we'll
many years,
and we'll show that
30,
support
40
again.
years,
Yeah, we'll show that support again.
Yeah, they'll do it. They'll do
Yeah.
it good. So we wish them all the best again for the race this year on Wednesday.
Yes, indeed.
On Wednesday.
Midweek.
Midweek. That's why eventually the party is so much going on. Third party of May, something like that.
That sounds like you need to become a politician and put that forward because no
You
one
have
wants to
be
touch
smart-
it.
You have to be smart to become a politician.
Well, no, I didn't say that.
I said it.
Okay.
I said it.
Okay.
Act Donald Trump.
Yeah.
And the world goes around.
Well, it's just turning. No, it's true. Across the board.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. We'll be back next week. Dawn, enjoy the rest of your week.
Thank you, sir. You as well.
And of course, we'll be seeing you here next week in Hudson.
All right.
All right.
Have a great day.
That's all the time we have for today.
Yeah. Act Donald Trump. He's dang. You gotta be smart.